Welcome. I am here with the new men's heads basketball coach here at UAH, Coach Hedgepeth. Coach, thank you so much for being here. It's an absolute pleasure. Now look, Coach, we're going to go right into it. So if your players were sitting back here, how would they describe you?
Oh, wow. I think they would describe me hopefully as a warm but
Okay.
demanding leader. I think
Uh-huh.
they would describe me as pretty even keel. I'm very much a never as good as it seems, never as bad as it seems kind of guy.
Okay.
Hopefully a teacher, really try to teach the game to, I'm as competitive as they come and want to win as much or more than anybody, but, ultimately want to teach them some life lessons through the game. That's big picture why I do it.
Yeah.
And hopefully joy would
Yeah.
come into the conversation. We try to, remember why we all started playing basketball in the first place, to have some fun along the way.
Yeah. And so did you always think you were going to be a coach? How was that for you?
No, I majored in accounting,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
so I did that for about 10 months,
Okay.
and then just, really kind of felt pulled in this direction
Mm-hmm.
to be a coach, and took a big pay cut and moved across the country, and I've been doing it the last 11 years, and
Yeah.
it's been a great ride.
Yeah, and also I looked you up a little bit. I saw that you played at Belmont.
hmm
So tell us about that experience with playing for Coach Bird.
it was incredible, and
Yeah.
that's ultimately why I coach, is because I had a phenomenal experience there as a student
Mm-hmm.
athlete. I was humbled
Yeah.
quickly there, athletically and academically,
Yeah.
but was surrounded by a lot of really, really good people that helped me
Mm-hmm.
during that pivotal time from 18 to 22 years old. But playing for Coach Bird was the best. I mean, he's, um, I mean, literally a Naismith Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Was at Belmont for 33 years and took the program to new heights.
Mm-hmm.
To be a part of some of those teams, means an awful lot to me. It's a
Yeah.
special place, and had a significant impact in my life.
Mm-hmm. Have you taken anything from Coach Bird and his philosophy of coaching and adapted it to yours?
A lot,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. All of us coaches just steal stuff from people,
Right.
so
Right.
he's the number one source
Yeah.
for me. He actually is kind enough. He usually attends, you know, a game or two or three every year
Yeah.
at various stops that I've coached. He was at a shoot around last year, and we were going through all of our plays,
Yeah.
and he noticed a lot of
We're
familiar
familiar.
familiar plays, so he commented on that. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
take away a lot from him, both as a
Yeah.
coach and a person.
And those who don't know, tell us about your coaching history. So where did you, I know you started off as a director of operations at Belmont, right? And then where'd you go after that?
Yeah, I've had quite the journey. Like I said, I
Yeah.
actually started at Williams College.
Okay.
It's a Division III, with a really amazing tradition, basketball wise and academically. They're like the number one or two liberal
Okay.
arts school in the nation, depending on the year, right? But that's where I started. Duncan Robinson was actually on the team when I got the job, who now plays in the NBA.
Yeah.
That's a neat story, but it's Division III in Massachusetts. Like I said, I was there for 2 years. Decided I wanted to get a little closer to home.
Yeah.
I'm from Northeast Alabama originally, about an hour from here.
Okay.
And came down to the University of the South as an assistant coach in Swanee, Tennessee.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I was lucky to get the head job there at a young age when I was 27.
Wow.
So 1 year as an assistant, 2 years as head coach there. Then Belmont as director of operations for 3 years.
Okay.
Then Berry College
Yeah.
at the Division III level again. They have a very successful tradition there as
Mm-hmm.
well from a men's basketball standpoint. I was there the last 2 seasons, and then here.
Wow. What is the difference you've seen with coaching D3, D2, D1? What's the difference that you've seen?
I mean, obviously some size, right? Like
Right.
the centers in D1 are going to be 6'10" to 7 feet. Where
Right.
in D3 that may not be the case,
Yeah.
but I would say there are way more similarities than differences.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I guess one of the other differences would be just access to your players. It's a lot more limited per NCAA rules
Yeah.
at the smaller college level than at the Division I level. You know, which I do think there are some positives about that. Not
Yeah.
practicing all summer, you
Yeah.
know, that can going every day or close to it for 8 weeks in the summer can make for a
Yeah.
really, really long season. You know, I do love the focus on academics. Guys can go, you know, have paid internships, study
Right.
abroad,
Right.
you know, have a little bit more balance
Mm-hmm.
there as well.
Yeah. And you mentioned your family a little bit, so tell us about your kids and all that.
Yeah, so I have 2 little girls,
Okay.
ages 2 years old
Oh,
and
wow.
almost 6 months. So yeah,
Wow.
I didn't sleep a
I
lot
was about to
last
say, do
night.
you get sleep?
Not a lot, but my wife, who I met through Belmont,
Okay.
is she's a rock star and luckily handles a lot of the load at night. But
Yeah.
it's a big time effort, but a whole lot of fun.
Do they make some visits to practice sometimes?
They do,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Actually, the other day, they were all here, so all three of my girls, and we were doing a half court drill,
Uh-huh.
and they were on the other side, and I decided to go full court, not knowing they were still
Oh
down there,
no.
and they almost had a collision. Luckily, that was avoided, but we have a funny
Oh, I bet
of
that
that.
is.
Yeah. So no, it's a family deal here. You
That's
know,
awesome.
that's our guys. I know obviously my wife and daughters aren't males, but
Right.
our guys call it the brotherhood here, and
Yeah.
you know we're really big into the family identity,
That's
and
awesome.
you know so they're a big part of what we do.
Yeah. So when you're not watching film or out there practicing, what do you like to do for fun?
I like to hang out with my family,
Okay.
and I like to golf. I would say
Okay.
those are about the only two things that I have time for.
Okay.
If I had some more time, you know, I love just being outside, you know,
Yeah.
hiking, any kind of body of water, lake or ocean, or
Yeah.
reading, something along
And
those
where did you
lines.
say you were from again? What part of Alabama?
Northeast Alabama, it's a
Okay.
small town called Crossville,
Never heard of it.
1,500 people. It's
Oh,
near,
wow. It's very
yeah,
small.
Albertville,
Okay.
Gunnersville, Fort Payne,
Okay.
that
Do you have a
area.
grocery store or Walmart?
We have one grocery
Okay.
store. Walmart's about 20
You
minutes
got to
away.
drive a little bit
Yeah,
for that.
yeah, yeah.
Now going back, as you said, you've now been coaching for 10 or 11 years, right? What's something that you would go back and maybe change that you know now?
I would just even more so, and I actually think I did a decent job of this, but even more so, I would just make it all about the players, you
Mm,
know, and not worry about anything else. Just creating the best possible experience for them
yeah,
as a student athlete, and then investing in them as players, obviously, and as people.
yeah,
You know, um, yeah, one of my very first seasons as a coach, a player who was from Oregon, and you know I'm from small town Alabama, and we hit it off. I worked him out every day, but he wrote me a letter after the season that said one of my favorite things about athletics is that it can bring people together as different as you and me for a
mm,
common cause. You know,
yeah,
I love that about
yeah.
athletics, and you know, just continuing to remember that it's so easy to get caught up in the scouting reports and the X's and O's and
Right.
practice planning and
Mm-hmm.
recruiting. You know, but if I could go back, I would say number one priority: maximize the experience of your players and
That's
invest in
good.
them as people.
That's
Hmm.
really good. Now I can already tell you're a little too humble to say it, but those who don't know, you just got inducted into the Belmont Hall of Fame, correct?
I did.
Tell us about that experience and what that meant for you.
Yeah, it meant um, a ton to me. You
Yeah.
know, just because of how Belmont shaped my life. If nothing else, you know, one, I was in a support staff role during COVID. I think that's the
Yeah.
number one reason they felt bad for me is how I was able to get in the Hall of Fame. But you know, looking back on that experience, it just allows you to really reflect. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and thinking back, 5 of my former teammates were in my wedding.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of us are still in a group texting thread, and
Yeah.
you know, a lot of us have young kids and families and life
Mm-hmm.
updates or talk trash about our sports teams, you know,
Right.
the good stuff. You know, I'm still very connected with the staff there.
Yeah.
Um, so looking back, and thinking about what to say at that event and those types of
Mm-hmm.
things, it's just like, wow, I don't know where I would be if Belmont wasn't in my life,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that maybe meant more to me and stood out more to me during that process than anything else.
Yeah. And one of your teammates, Karan Johnson, were you guys in the same class together?
He was a year younger than me.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's from Huntsville. Those who don't know,
Hmm.
went to Madison Academy, and I think he just got inducted too. I think same class as you
He
or
did. He was a year before me.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was a better player if he's younger and got inducted before me.
Anyway, but you still got
But yeah,
inducted.
we've been playing against each other since our high school days.
Yeah.
So yeah, know Karan really well, and he's an assistant coach at Belmont now, so he's
Yeah.
doing great.
It's full circle. It's really, really
Hmm.
cool. Well, look, before we go, will you share just any advice? I know you shared about what you do differently if you're younger, but someone right now who's watching that wants to be in your shoes right now, what would you tell them?
I would say early in your career, prioritize obviously maximizing the experience of the players, as I
Right.
said, but from a professional standpoint, prioritize learning above all else.
Hmm.
I think it's easy to just want to think about the next job or moving up or climbing the ladder, but I
Right.
would say the number one thing you can do early in your career is learn. Hmm.
That's really
Yeah.
good. That's really, really good. Well, look, we'll be right back to hear more about this upcoming season.
The greatest asset we have is our employees.
I'm very excited to welcome you to our new corporate website.
The National Space Club was founded as the National Rocket Club in 1957.
In North Alabama, we are extremely blessed.
True Tone will test your theory in everything, the good things and the bad things. In everything, give him thanks.
Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain?
The Housing Authority's Child Care Development Program was created to expand child care opportunities in the city. This program also provided opportunities for people who typically would not have access to expand their education and start their own businesses as well. The students enrolled in the Child Care Short Certificate at Drake State are taking this as a prerequisite to get their CDA, which is a national certification in child care. They also have access to small business classes with the Catalyst Center and a small business boot camp as well with C&I Solutions.
Welcome back. I'm here with Coach Hedge. He is the head men's basketball coach here at UAH. So, Coach, let's talk about this season. What's on the roster? Who is it the same players, different from last year? How are we looking?
We have a lot of same players,
Okay.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
We have 15 returners.
Wow.
We have a pretty large roster here. Have been pretty red shirt heavy in the past for a long time, which
Yeah.
kind of lends towards a bigger roster. But like a lot of teams, we essentially have two senior classes. due to
Yeah.
COVID, right?
Right.
So 7 players who are all in their last year of eligibility here.
Okay.
So a veteran team that should be a lot of fun to watch, and
Yeah.
hopefully a lot of fun to coach as well.
So are you looking at a 5 out, or is it just 4 out, 1 in? How's your offensively? How's the system?
It'll be more 4 out, 1 in.
Okay.
Kind of 2 different motions. One more focused on playing through the post and reading the post, and then another more ball screen oriented.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And how many are there bigs, or how is that looking?
Yeah, we have several bigs.
Okay.
Daniel Saylor
Okay.
is one of those 5th-year guys
Mm-hmm.
who should increase his role. I would expect to increase his role from last year, and but he's 6'9",
Mm-hmm.
245. Good hands, good feet. So we're really excited about him. I think he can do both of those: play back to the basket and seal
Okay.
and create angles, and also play in ball screens.
Mm-hmm.
We have a freshman, Griffin Cooper,
Okay.
who's 6'8". He was a state high jump champion in high
Oh,
school.
wow.
So obviously with any freshman, it's a big adjustment with
Yeah.
the speed and the
Yeah.
physicality and whatnot, but definitely has the size and a burst for sure that
Yeah.
we're really excited about. Dane Harding is more of a skilled passing, creating,
Okay.
can step out and shoot it big for us, who played significant minutes last year. So those are some of our guys who will play the center position for us this year.
Yeah, and so obviously also with playing under Coach Bird, and you say you do have some of the same philosophy, is there going to be a lot of threes that we see getting up, or what? How's that going to look?
I expect there'll be a lot of
Yeah.
threes. I think that's one of the strengths of our team, and
Okay.
it's been that way here for a long time. I'm into the analytics.
Okay.
I don't think it's the end all be all for sure, but I do
Right.
think the analytics paint a picture and can help you strategize. So yeah, we'll try to get a lot of pressure on the rim,
Okay.
try to draw fouls, and try to shoot a lot of threes.
And defensively, man-to-man, zone, three-quarter court.
We'll be mostly man-to-man.
Okay.
We may pick up full occasionally, just some token pressure, but mostly half-court man, and sprinkling in some zone, maybe a possession here or
Yeah.
there to keep teams off balance as kind of a curveball.
Right. And do you see your team more athletic, or how is it compared to last year? I know you said it's not the same players, but
Yeah, really similar.
yeah.
I think if I had to describe our team, and I think we'll
Okay.
play maybe a little bit differently, just with they're very Princeton heavy in the past, and maybe
yeah.
we'll do some of those same
Mm-hmm.
concepts, but it'll be a little bit different. I think that we have a couple guys who can really create
Yeah.
and get paint touches and
Yeah.
score it or pass it.
Mhm.
I think that'll be valuable, and then I hope that someone would watch our team and think that we make a lot of good, quick,
Yeah.
sound decisions.
Yeah.
That's what I want us to do. And ultimately, I want us to play with a lot of freedom within our structure, and get to where we don't have to think about us, right, and what we're going to do and how we're going to play, but we can just read defenses and counteract defenses.
I like
So
that.
I hope that's eventually we can get to the point where however teams decide to guard us, we'll know how to attack that.
Yeah. So let's talk about the game schedule. So when is the first game?
November 8th.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, got not an easy one to start.
Okay.
Nova Southeastern.
Oh, yeah.
They finished national runner-up last year, national champion the year prior. So
Is that
it'll
away or
be-
home?
It's a neutral site.
Okay.
It's our crossover
Hmm.
game with that league, so it'll be at Montevallo,
Okay.
just south of Birmingham.
And do you have an exhibition game that fans can come watch, or is that?
We don't. We actually
Okay.
just had an alumni scrimmage,
Oh, fun.
which was a lot of fun. That was open, but other than that, we'll just do some closed scrimmages
Okay.
prior to Nova, which is coming up quickly here in a few
Yeah,
weeks.
in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So when is the first home game?
I I believe.
Sorry to put you on the
That's
spot.
all right. I believe November 12th. I think
Okay.
the Tuesday. I think we open up like Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
I believe we open up that Tuesday at home.
On the top of your head, is there, I know as a coach you look forward to every single game, but non-conference, is there a team that you're really excited about getting that experience and playing against?
Not one more than the other,
Okay.
to be honest with you. I think Nova obviously will be a great challenge.
Right.
They play really fast, press the whole game, score a lot of points. It's a little bit of a unique style.
Yeah.
You know, Barry, who we play the next day out of Florida, is another really good team in that
Okay.
league. They had a really tight battle with UAH last year. It was a one-possession game. We take a trip near St. Louis
Okay.
to play McKendree and the University of Missouri, St. Louis. I think that'll
wow.
be a fun trip for our team. So those will
Yeah.
be some of the, I think, highlights in terms of our non-conference play.
Yeah. And then conference play, who do you see is going to be the biggest just competition for you guys?
Well, I'm new to the league.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've watched a lot of film, but haven't seen teams live and in person. But from what I've heard, it sounds like, Lee,
Yeah.
West Alabama, Valdosta. Sounds like, I know Trevecca's coming in the league. They had a nice season last year, so I think there'll be a lot of really good teams in the league.
Yeah. So just thinking about the community, how can the community support the men's basketball team?
Well, they already have so
Yeah.
much. That's the one thing that's one of the many things that's really jumped out to me in my almost 6 months here now, I guess, is just how important basketball and athletics as a whole is to so many people within the community. For example, we had a golf outing that they've had here for a long time. The Willis Acuff golf tournament in honor of a couple former coaches here who we can't overstate how much they've done for the program and the value added there with those couple coaches. But it filled up quickly. So many people came out to support. Over 100 people were at the alumni game. We had a gear closet clean out yard sale style
awesome.
with that, and so many people, were able to buy gear and help us,
really cool.
from that standpoint. So other than that, come to games.
Yeah.
And I think of our almost 700 season tickets, I think there's only 50 left.
Wow.
So this
Get
is my plug. Get your tickets while they're still available, as we're coming down to crunch time here. So I think that in and of itself says a whole lot about UAH and the support from the community.
And I know this is your first year, so if you're not able to answer, it's okay. They can look it up later. But do you know if there's any like community themed games? Like I know some schools sometimes do like a Veterans Day, or teachers get in free. Do you know of any type of that community
I know
involvement?
they've had a military themed game in the past and wore camo jerseys and that type of thing. I don't know that date off the top of my head, but we will figure out those logistics and get that on the calendar and make sure everyone in the community is aware.
And let's say there's a school watching or something like that, and they want the team to be involved with the school. Who is the person of contact, and is that allowed to happen, and what does that exactly look like?
Yeah, definitely. We try to get involved in as many ways as we can within the community. I think that's a responsibility of ours with the platform that we have, and we take that seriously. So either myself or Coach Josh Henschel or Alex Maston on our staff, any of the three of us, we would be glad to look at any opportunity we have to serve the community and see if that is something that fits our schedule and what we could accommodate with our guys.
Yeah, I know you have about 3 weeks left till about the first game, somewhere around there, 3 or 4 weeks. What, like if someone were to walk into your practice, what do they see? Is it a high energy? What do they see when they walk in?
Yeah, I hope they would see that not a minute is wasted.
Yeah.
We try to put a lot of time and thought. I don't know. There's many more important things other than obviously investing in our players this time of year that we can do than plan a good practice and maximize our time together. So every minute's planned out, and I
Yeah.
hope they would see that we really try to teach and have fast pace and have a sense of urgency, and are on task.
Yeah. Are you the coach that has a notepad? Do you keep the piece of paper? How do you do it?
I have a practice plan
Yeah.
tucked in, and then I have a pen. If I need to write any notes on the back of it,
Yeah.
I'll do that. But yeah,
Do you have to do it like right before, day before? How do you operate?
I usually will watch every practice. We video
Okay.
stat every practice, and as I'm watching, that's usually the night after practice. As I'm watching, I'll take notes about what we can do the next day, and then I'll kind of think on it, sleep on it, and then
Yeah.
officially plan it the next morning.
Yeah. Well, Coach, thank you so much for being here. Now, before we end, will you remind those watching? So we have the first game November 8th. All right, and then for the other games, we got to go look on the website to see when those are.
Yeah.
To purchase the tickets, where can they purchase tickets? You said we got 50 left.
Yeah, just our UAH athletics website.
Okay.
I think there was just a release on there with all of those instructions, but it's pretty easy to navigate.
All right.
Yeah, so if you just go on the website, you can. There's a big tab that says buy tickets. It'll take you to where you need to go.
All right. Well, you guys scan that QR code. It'll take you to a website that says buy these tickets right now. There are 50 left, so you definitely need to do that like today.
That's right.
Coach, we really look forward to watching guys play, and also just thank you for your time here today.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time and your support.
Yeah. Join us next time to see who's off the clock.